What's good, everybody? What's going on, man? It's Stephen Quall II, aka Mr. Qualified. It's your boy. And we're back with not just another episode of the Right Quality Podcast, but guys, we have reached a milestone. This is episode 50, episode 50 of the Right Quality Podcast. Sound effect, bullhorn,
Boom,
bull.
boom, boom, boom. Okay.
Yo. But yes, big 5-0. I first and foremost want to give a shout out to you all. You all being Ashley and Emilio. This podcast is nowhere near what it is without you two. This dynamic is amazing. I love recording this podcast with you guys. So here is to 50 and 50 more as we continue to get better and be greater as we do this and reach whatever heights are meant for us. But yeah, we have a special treat for you guys for episode 50. Don't know why we did this to ourselves, but here we are now. Can't change the past. We are diving into the top 50 NBA players of all time. I'm telling y'all right now, y'all probably not going to agree with a lot of it, right? But that don't matter because unless you're going to submit your 50, I really don't want to hear it, to be honest. But nonetheless, we're going to tackle it. We're going to see what this list looks like at the end. And we're going to see what conversation ensues as we try to figure out where great players land when you got to cut the list off at 50. We know how I get when it comes to 10, so 50 is even crazier. But guess we gonna start at 50. We can go from 50 to y'all either want to go to 50 to 46 or y'all want to do 50 to 41 first. How y'all want
50
to?
to 46.
Okay, we can do 50 to 46.
No reason specifically.
I begrudgingly will give my 50 through 46 first, if that will help kick things off. All right. At 50, I have Paul Pierce. At 49, I have Anthony Davis. At 48, I have Clyde Drexler. At 47, I have George Gervin. And at 46, I have Gary Payton.
Okay. All right.
How we feeling? What we thinking?
I don't know if AD is top.
Hey man. I know we talk about Anthony a lot. And I know we give Anthony a lot of flack. He is an NBA champion. But he also is I had these notes somewhere, but multiple all NBA teams, multiple all defensive teams, 3-time block leader in the league as well. So if you're talking about both ends of the ball, I think, and when he's healthy, I think that's the biggest thing. When he's healthy, he has shown up on all NBA teams. He has been a force defensively. I think the health has been really the only knock within his career that we've given him flack for, but we've never argued his skill. And I just feel like it would be hard to place certain players over him, given that he does have like some hardware. It's not like he's just this great skilled player that hasn't achieved anything. So it was a close call. Trust me, there were players I wanted to put over, but I couldn't in good faith after doing my research, not put him in the list. So he's there.
Okay.
Right.
I was just giving you a hard time. I have him at 50.
Nice. Okay.
I have him at 50. And honestly, there was an A and B. I'm not even going to mention B, but I have him at 50 now. At 49, I have Paul Pierce, obviously the truth. 48, I have Dennis Rodman, rebound king. Sounds low, but let me cook. At 47, I have Mello. Sounds low, I know, but let me cook. And then at 46, I have Elvin Hayes.
Mm. Okay. 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 I like it. I'm not mad. I I would have put Melo at 50 solely for the sake of him making the list and because he is a favorite player of mine.
Mhm.
However, as much as I know the league robbed Melo of a lot, and I'm not saying he got robbed of a chip or anything like that, or MVPs, or All NBA for that matter, because Melo just came up in a time where there were a lot of greats, especially talking
Yeah.
about that 3-4 position. Like he's playing in the prime of Kobe, in the prime of LeBron. He's still playing in the prime of the Tim Duncans and the KGs and the Dirks. So when it comes to all NBAs, when it comes to all these things, he wasn't really robbed. There was just a lot of other great players around him. And I think he's recognized and appreciated for being a scorer. But when you put his resume up against other people's resume, unless you were just a true fan of pure scoring, it's really hard all time to put him above certain players, unless you're really just saying because he's one of the greatest scorers, because he's one of the most pure scorers we ever seen, and that in and of itself should mean a lot, and that puts him over XYZ people, I would understand that argument, but I tried to be as holistic and unbiased as possible. So he couldn't make the 50. But he's out. He's not in my 50. He's not. He's 51 to 55. Damn near 51.
Whoa.
But he is not
Erasure.
he's
Looking like the
not
United
in the
States.
50.
Oh, I wasn't expecting that. I was
I know.
not.
Look, I when I tell you, I was trying. I wanted him to be 50. If nothing else, he was going to be 50. But
Whoa.
I couldn't do it after the research.
Oh, hey, I get what you're saying. I do feel like he did himself a disservice not going to Chicago the year he decided to go to New York.
Very much so.
But mm, he,
Juicy.
as good, very juicy, lost for words. But as good as a scorer as he was, you had oh man, he couldn't be Batman, obviously. It didn't work for him being Batman. I think he did need to be Robin, but he was gonna be like a super Robin. Like
He would have been the greatest Rodman after Scottie Pippen.
yeah. Yeah, that's
And
true.
that in and of itself would have put him right around where Scottie's going to fall on this list for me
Mm-hmm.
personally, because it probably would have got him at least one ring,
Mm-hmm.
which is all he would have needed for me to be above a lot of other people.
Yeah.
But without that stuff, it would have been solely off a bias thing for me,
Mm-hmm.
considering
I
holistically
mean, there's some
everything.
great scores that haven't achieved anything that are higher on the list. So, I mean, I'm just interested to see.
Depends on how great of a score we talking. And when you say haven't achieved anything, we got to see.
I got one name in mind, Steve, that if you say this name, I will probably have a conniption on this podcast. I'm not gonna lie. If you
You'll hear it.
say this name without having Carmelo on your list,
You'll hear
I
it.
might flip out.
You'll hear it.
I don't know what name this is, but it's more than
I
likely.
will let you know if I hear.
It's gonna get hard, man.
Okay. Yeah. It's on you.
Number 50, Karl Malone.
Whoa.
49,
Whoa.
John
Whoa. Whoa.
Stockton. Hold
Whoa.
on. You'll get my reasonings. You already know why. You're lucky they made the list.
Okay.
You're absolutely lucky that they made the list in general because there are valid reasons as to why they shouldn't be on this. They should be on a different list.
We are talking. This is solely a basketball list, Miguel.
Yeah,
A different
absolutely. And in my
list.
basketball
This is
list, I
not a
can
human list. This is not a list of how good of a human you are.
50, Karl Malone. 49, John Stockton. I repeat. This, you're welcome for the clicks. 48, my Puerto Rican Prince Mello. 47, Triple P, Quadruple P, Poopy Pants Pierce. 46, AD, Mr. Disney, A. Disney. Shouts out. It's a wild ride, his career. Would you like the explanations?
Do I want the explanations?
Karl Malone, you're welcome. You made one of our lists. He didn't make the power forward list for reasons. It was a top 5 power forwards list, but why didn't he make it? Let's say it.
Let's
And you
not
want to say it?
let's not say it.
Absolutely. You're lucky you made the list, sir. John Stockton, he could be higher. Just natural beef. Stats inflated. We'll never get another guard that touches this record ever. But at the same time, the NBA is also different. I know a better point guard that we will mention later in the list that could get that record if you had maybe 4 more seasons with Wemby, but the world may never know. Melo, I mean, would we have the jab step in the game?
Yes, but okay.
Yeah. Mhm.
But at the rate that we see it,
I don't know
absolutely
if they
not.
have.
First man ever to defecate and come back and finish a game. Defecate on court, as a matter of fact. I don't know if that's ever been tracked, but he did. Brooke Lopez. Brooke Lopez was the second. If we refer back to one of the other pods, definitely happened. That was not Sweat. A. Disney. Need I say less? He got a couple of them. Does he have a couple of them, or does he have one of them?
He has one championship, if
He
that's
has
what you
one chip. It'd be a
um
disgrace not to have a great two-way on this list.
so 45 through 41 for me. Have Russell Westbrook at 45. Have Elvin Hayes at 44. Walt Frazier at 43. Willis Reed at 42. And George Mikan at 41.
I don't mind the Brody making it. I don't.
Is he's not on yours?
He was on a tear. I don't know. I have to get deeper in the list. I made it last week. So I don't know where people have ranked. I'm probably going to do some switching up as we go lower. But Bob McAdoo for 45. I have Jokic at 44. I know that sounds blasphemous. Let me cook. It's only due to tenure. Only due to tenure. I know he has done some amazing things in what feels like a short amount of time. I just feel like he needs to marinate a little bit more before I begin to think of him as like a top 20 all-time great. Personally.
Oh, this is going to be fun.
It might take until like it's all said and done for him and he retires for me to bump him 20 spots, but he's on the list and he's moving at a rapid pace. But okay, 43, Harden. The run he went on in Houston, unheard of. Like, I don't even feel like I have to go through all that. And then Jason Kidd at 42 and Walt Frazier at 41. Are we going 40?
I was gonna say we can. My 40 is Patrick Ewing.
Okay. My 40 is the human highlight reel.
Nice.
Dominique Wilkins.
Dominique.
Oh. I was like, Vince Carter made another list?
This is insane.
So I got Mr. Hayes at 45. Shouts out Tizo touchdown. Ice man at 44. I got the Glide at 43. Brody at 42. And then Mr. Colorful Tie at 41, Mr. Frazier.
Who's 40?
D Rose. Abbreviated career, but out of respect for what that man did, there is no Brody without D Rose.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
He had to make the list.
I wouldn't go as far as saying there is no Brody without D Rose, but I will agree that D Rose definitely came on the scene louder and made his mark first.
Yeah,
I can agree with that. What I will say is, I think that Westbrook benefited from Rose not having the extended career, because if Rose does not get injured, I think a lot of people see a championship in that career somewhere.
I blame Tibbs.
One would probably argue another MVP in there somewhere. So as great as Westbrook has been, I think he would have been in that space of, well, he's great, but is he D Rose? So I understand that completely. Very interesting. 39. Y'all want me to go 35 or go to 30?
We can do 30.
All righty. 39. Bob Cousy. 38. Chris Paul. 37. Steve Nash, 36. Jason Kidd, 35. Bob Pettit, 34. Allen Iverson, 33. Rick Barry, 32. James Harden, 31. Kawhi Leonard, and 30. John Havlicek.
Okay, that's decent. I don't have any arguments. Yeah, no argument for me. Mine is different, but we pretty much have the same players, it's just in different spaces for this 39 through 30. I'll
Okay.
start with 39. I have T-Mac. If it weren't for the knee injuries, T-Mac would probably be higher for me. But again, in terms of scoring and like the flair and, if you remember T-Mac's game, he was one of the original jump out the gymmers. Like, there's no denying that. And then 38, I got Kawhi. 37, Kuzi. 36, Clyde. 35, Steve Nash. 34, Brody. 33, Allen Iverson. 32, Patrick Ewing. 31, Giannis. And 30, Chris Paul.
Let me ask you this question.
Mm-hmm.
When it comes to Chris Paul, how much does him being a terrible postseason performer his all-time stat?
Injured. Injured. He's not James Harden is a worse postseason performer, let's be real. Chris Paul actually shows out. We saw what he did. When CP3 was gone, James Harden.
I don't think that's a clear argument.
That is a clear argument. We saw it in that one series. He carried, and then when CP3 left, did his thing, James Harden was the one that
But CP3 habitually gets injured in the postseason. Literally every time.
That doesn't mean poor performance. James Harden is there and is
okay. So then explain 2021.
2021, which one was that? Is that the one that CP3 got hurt and then James Harden was buns?
No, that's
2021 where they made the finals where James Harden has never been.
That's fine.
Except being a six man.
James Harden has an MVP.
Okay.
CP doesn't.
Scoring.
James Harden cares about that award. CP3 wants title. Shit.
So you said
does CP have an assist title? What CP does care about? Has he ever been the league's assist leader?
5 times.
5.
And he's a 6-time steals leader, may I add as well.
James Harden ain't doing that.
He's not.
And it's just totally different games. Yeah.
He's one of the most prolific scorers we've seen.
Absolutely.
And James Harden is solely responsible for turning organization into a contender.
Yeah. James Harden or CP3?
James Harden. Because they were contenders before CP got there.
Yes.
Then everywhere else he's gone, he's done what? He had Embiid did Jack. He went to the Clippers, is done.
We can all agree that he took a dip after leaving Houston.
Yeah. But also, see, as much as CP went to other teams and made them better, didn't get them over the hump.
He's talking about James Harden too.
But we're still talking. So if you take postseason out of it, they take postseason out for both of them. Then who are you taking when it comes to regular season? Who had a higher peak? Who had a better prime?
James Harden burned brighter for quicker, but CP3 has done it for longer. Am I wrong?
Now that I don't disagree with, but I think it's two totally different games.
It was too bright. You can say burn brighter, but I don't think it fizzed out from the standpoint of if you're talking about Harden's 6 or 7 years in Houston. He didn't leave until 2020, 2021, maybe one of those two. But like when you think of Harden's 6 or 7 years in Houston, I don't think that's a short time span for the dominance that he had. And as much as Chris, mind you, 2 completely different games as well. But what's Chris Paul's prime? And what's his peak? And is that peak higher than James Harden's peak? I don't think the peak is higher. And I think Harden's prime was longer.
I disagree with that.
When was Chris Paul's prime? Yeah.
I mean, it goes from his last 2 New Orleans years to the tail end of the Clippers years. Because he had one of the statistically best seasons in that MVP combo when he was in New Orleans.
So his last 2 New Orleans years was what? Had to be
08.
08, yeah.
He got
So
traded to the Clippers in 09 or 10.
I want to say
Did
Blake
his
got
veto happen
drafted.
before the Gasol trade or no? Was Gasol already there when the veto happened?
Gasol had been there because they won with Kobe.
So this was after. This was after the two-peat for them.
So this was 2010 then, right?
Had to be.
09, 2010. This was looking like 2008, 2009, 2010. And then he was with the Clippers because Blake got drafted what? It was either 2010?
Blake got drafted 09.
Blake is 09,
09.
yeah.
And then after that year he sat, then CP3 made it there.
Yeah.
And then he got traded to Houston in 7?
And we're talking post-prime CP3, and this man is outperforming in the playoffs. And then when post-prime CP3 is gone, James can't do it. How? In his peak. You're talking about his peak years.
You mean what are you saying? James Harden can't do.
Go ahead.
Hold on. Let me clarify. James Harden couldn't do what?
When one of 2 games that CP3 put them in position to win. Out of those first 5 games they played that series.
Was it solely CP?
Look at who he was up against.
You're giving
Yeah, but CP3 had him. He hit the shimmy.
You're giving CP a lot of credit in Houston. You're giving CP a lot of credit in Houston. More credit than necessary.
The shimmy on Stephen Curry because he was balling so well.
If we're going to use him shimmying on Stephen Curry as an example of him being so dominant, when we all know that Steph done almost owned CP.
And then his hammy fell off the bone. And then Mr. James Harden in his prime, we're talking about prime James Harden, whose peak was brighter.
I don't see how you're arguing.
I'm just saying, like, because this is post-prime CP3 in Houston.
So
we're talking about. And then you're saying that was enough for them to lose the series post-prime CP3, even though James Harden's star was that much brighter?
What I'm saying is you can't argue availability. It sucks. I'm not saying it doesn't suck. However, who's to say that, okay, yeah, he was playing great. We don't know if he falls off. It's exactly what happened in Phoenix when he was playing great in the conference finals. Then the finals came around. All of a sudden he was ass. And then it wasn't until after the finals, it was like, oh, my hand. Every single time it's been something. So if you're going to say, oh, Harden disappears, I don't think you can make an argument that Chris Paul disappears less.
Physically just not there. He disappears in that sense. He is DNP.
Okay, so that's what I'm saying. So then watch the postseason. I don't think you can argue Chris Paul being a more prolific player than James Harden if you're watching the postseason for both of them. I don't think you can argue that.
I think where it's apples to oranges. It's like, okay, this guy performs
terribly.
No, I'm just saying, like, this man performs terribly when available, and this man is not available.
Okay.
He didn't perform terrible. He wasn't the best in the postseason. But if you look at Harden as a whole during that run in Houston, it was not terrible when he was available. It was far from.
It was second round exits at best.
Look at who he played.
You could say that about CP3 every single time too. The West has been stacked ever.
So then what point you making?
That it's a moot point. That we're talking about 2 players that have postseason struggles.
Okay, but no, you made it seem like Chris Paul was God in the postseason.
In that Houston series, he was the man.
Series?
And then, he put him up in a position. We're talking like up in the series, a chance to win it.
You're talking about win one. You're talking about that conference finals against the Warriors.
And he put him in position to win.
KD Steph Warriors at that.
Yes, and he put him in position to win one. They were up in the series, mind you. It's a team effort.
They were up.
James put them in that position, but then you're saying that right when he goes.
Let me ask you this. James not playing, but Chris Paul is. Chris Paul gonna win them that game?
Chris putting up 30 and 30.
Stop it.
We're talking.
Okay.
Stop it,
Going to
Miguel.
the finals.
Right.
Hey, the world may never know. Do you know? No. But what we know is that James was there and he couldn't get it done. Then he goes to Brooklyn with the super team. Can't get it done. He's been given more and has done less with it. I've used that case before. Chris Paul's been given teams and he's just willing them to positions.
Stop it. Stop it.
When we see Spurs in the Spurs Bucks finals this year, talk to me.
And the blasphemy has officially begun. So
one out of pocket, one long out of pocket rant. That's all I got.
Gil, do we have your you didn't give your 39 through 30?
Yep, this is a great stalling tactic. Bob McAdoo 39. I got Pat at 38. Patrick Ewing. I got DW at 37. That's Dominique Wilk. I got 36, Steve Nash. I got the boy, the kid, Jason at 35. T-Mac 34. Harden 33. Havlicek 32. Kawhi 31. CP3 30.
Hold on. Let me look at something. Let me look at something right quick. Because I don't mean to be a hater. I really don't. But let me just look at something right quick. Okay.
What are we looking at?
7-time All-Star, 2-time first team, 3-time second team, 2-time third team. Okay, so he's a 7-time All-NBA and a 2-time NBA scoring champion. That is T-Mac's accolades that stand out. I want to know for y'all, all things considered, what puts him so high?
I think it's the D Rose treatment and the words that Kobe has put to him. Like, I was a big T-Mac fan too. Like, he was like one of the first shoes I owned. Same with AI. Yeah. Like, it's one of those where it's like, if healthy, it's one of those, like, in terms of prime.
Can't do that. We can't do that.
Hey man, but we did it with D Rose, and it was kind of like, hey, he gets a pass because D Rose. But
I mean, y'all's list, but I couldn't rightfully put D Rose on the list, not because of what could have been. We could all agree D Rose is the biggest what if in NBA history. But what I looked at was what has been done.
Okay,
so you're looking at reality.
What has been done? There is some personal stuff within the top 50, but also at the same time, like,
hey, those rose tinted glasses be very rosy.
They do. I love T-Mac, and I just feel like I would be remiss for not mentioning him on this list, but I understand.
He's not over his other Houston counterpart in James Harden.
So you got to think, if this was a list of 75, then the players that we're talking about, the D Rose, T-Max, and being considered one of the 75 greatest NBA players ever is no small feat. But in the same way that everybody doesn't make 10, look at it like this. If KD doesn't make 10 for the reasons that he doesn't, and in all honesty, one of the big reasons KD isn't top 10 is because of how we feel about his 2 championships. Really, because other than that, what reason is he not inside the top 10? For real, right? I would say the same has to apply for this 50, or at least that's the logic I used, right? T-Mac, great. Like, it's not a knock on his game. It's not even a knock on his impact, for real. But
but what has he done? That's fair. No, that's fair. But that's why I only got him over.
But if he was in 40 to 50, I probably wouldn't have said nothing. But
it's like I got him over what? Patrick Ewing, who's never got one. Did Wilkins get one? Am I tripping?
No.
Nick didn't.
Nash didn't get one. Kid got one latter half, and then it's T-Mac, where it's like that's where I have him there. Just if we're looking at player comp, I see him beating those players. I mean, 6'7" combo guard. He was one of he was different.
Beating him in a 1-on-1.
Well, I mean but I'm not referencing it in a 1-on-1 sense, where it's like you still got 2-time MVPs in here. You got assist record people in there, but I'm just going comp for comp at that time. If we're talking skill level where he lands historically, if Kobe's in the top 10 and T-Mac was up there with that man going shot for shot, game by game, I'm just going by skill level at that point.
That's tough.
Resumes are
but important. I'm saying a top 50 skill list looks completely different than a top 50 all-time list.
100%. But there's still a list of accolades to be had there. And also, yeah, like I said, same reason that D Rose is on this list for me.
D Rose, I don't have an issue with because he's the youngest MVP in history. He at least got an
But
MVP.
T-Mac scored 13 points in 9 seconds.
That's great,
Come
but
on.
T-Mac have an MVP. T-Mac doesn't have any. T-Mac doesn't have anything on the defensive side of the ball.
The same way, Steve, that we considered the people that Melo was going up against, we can do the same for T-Mac. He was in Houston with Yao.
Because that's why Melo's not on my list. For every other reason, Melo would make the list.
This is just a reference of who y'all have on your list. I'm creating it as we go. Don't give me grief. Give Ashley grief. She put that name up on the board for me to put on. So let's really give Ashley grief.
You used it.
As we move into the 20s, here is my 29 to 26.
Yes.
Scottie Pippen at 29. John Stockton at 28.
Ooh.
Isaiah Thomas at 27. And Charles Barkley at 26.
Can you give me different names to use? Hold on.
No, I can't give you different names to use.
Damn. All right. Ashley, your time to shine.
Scotty at 29 as well. John Havlicek at 28. 27 is Bob Petit and John Stockton at 26.
Is it Pettit or Petite? Have I been saying it wrong?
It might be Pettit.
Petite, Bob Petit, kind of cute.
Talking about kind of cute.
It might be Pettit. I probably am butchering it.
Look, no, Bob Petite. You know, he might be a little. Hey, you gotta make sure put some respect on his name.
29, I got Bob Cousy. Because shouts out. 28, I got George Mikan. Because we wouldn't have to drill without him. 27, I got Scottie Pippen. You know what? I got it. 20. Rest in peace. This is an honorary one. This is for the logo, Jerry West.
Okay, I'll take it up.
And how dare you say anything about my 26 if he doesn't deserve to be there? That man just passed. So I had that from the start. I'm going to say 26 through 50 I had.
Okay.
Now, if you let me finish.
I don't know. You looked up and remembered that name. So, all right. I guess that's.
No.
That's not even a bad spot.
It's in my heart.
It's not a bad spot. It's not a bad spot at all.
It was between him and Isaiah Hartenstein.
Oh, man. I'm happy you went with the West.
Ish Smith was about to crack 52. Rest in retirement.
Ish Smith.
It's insane. Okay. We at the top 25 now. Very interesting here. 25 for me. I'm doing 25 to 21.
Yeah.
25 is Giannis. 24 is Dirk. 23 is KG. 22 is Dwayne Wade. And 21 is Elgin Baylor.
Okay. 25 is KG. 24 is Dirk. 23, I have Charles Barkley. 22, Dr. J. And 21, Elgin Baylor.
Sorry. Jerry West was an honorary one. 25 is my 26 was Elgin Baylor, my fault. I had to correct that one there. 25, I got the Joker. 25, I got Chuck. 23, I got Dirk. 22, I got AI. 21, I got D Wade.
Why is AI so high?
I mean, as a
I know it.
scoring guard, I wouldn't play the way I play if it weren't for AI.
Oh my God.
I wouldn't be the player that I am today without those first zip up shoes that I had, size 1s.
Size 1 was a
black
time.
And red. I had the blue Sixers jersey with the swoop. I mean, in terms of the culture alone, who was wearing finger sleeves and for what reason? I mean,
Points were made.
If only he had better circumstances throughout his life, he could have been a chipper. But
I think that's where the AI case gets extremely tricky because his influence catapults him to elite status, really. But career wise,
save it, buddy.
so say what? You don't want to hear logic? You don't
Save it,
want to
buddy. We're going with our hearts on this one. 21 AI. Talking
Wade was
like
21.
Talking like Cloud9. I don't know who's doing that here.
I thought you said Wade was 21.
AI was 22.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. D-Wade was 21, yeah.
All right. Moving in to 20. I'm going to go 20 to 11.
Absolutely.
At 20, David Robinson. At 19, Dr. J. At 18, Jerry West. At 17, Moses Malone. At 16, the man from Utah. At 15, Oscar Robertson. At 14, Jokic. At 13, KD. At 12, Wilt. And at 11, Bill Russell.
You got Jokic a top 15 player already?
I do have Jokic at the top.
Ever?
Yeah, I do. Ooh. I mean, he ain't outside the top 20. Tell you that.
On my list is scribble David Robinson somewhere in there at 20 and a half.
Okay, I got D-Wade at 20. David Robinson at 19. Oscar Robertson at 18. The Mailman at 17. Isaiah at 16. Moses Malone at 15. Jerry West at 14. Wilt at 13. Bill at 12. And Steph at 11.
Isaiah's really high. I'm personally not mad at it, but I'm not mad at that.
I got KG at 20.
Yeah, who at 20? Who?
KG.
Oh, okay.
That needs to be a gift.
I got.
Watch how you launched up.
Giannis at 19.
Good Jesus.
IT at 18. KD 17. Big O 16.
15, 14, 13, 12, and 11.
15, Dr. J. 14, Kobe. 13, KD. 12, Bill. 11, Will.
We just gonna go move forward. We just go.
Wait, hold on. Wait. Oh, wait. 14. Wait, sorry. My 14 is way off. I rewrote someone there that shouldn't have been there.
Can you just so no. Just so I make sure I heard you correctly.
No, 14 is actually my 8 correction. So that let me.
No. I just want to hear. Can I hear the 20 through 11 again?
KG 20.
That's years, bro.
Right. IT 19.
Right.
Giannis 18.
Okay.
KD 17. Big O 16. Dr. J 14. Admiral 15. KD 13. Bill Russell 12. Will 11.
Do you have KD on there twice or am I tripping?
KG and KD are two different people.
You said KG was 20. You said Isaiah Thomas was 19.
Giannis was 18.
And who was 17?
Oh, wait. Hold on, people. Hold on. I got 8 different jobs.
So now David Robinson is 17.
That always was 17.
Jerry West is 14. And KD is 13.
Yes, and then Bill and Will. at 12 and 11. Yeah, as I said before, I think it was skipping. Like I said, the Wi-Fi was cutting out when I was going to run the gym. My 10th job.
Number of jobs keeps increasing as well.
Just like the
Yeah.
number of this list. So once again, just to reiterate, it was KG 20, IT 19. As I said before, it was Giannis 18, which I'll own up for that. Bias, personal bias. Always gonna keep it a little bit biased in the pod. 17, David Robinson. 16, Big O. Big O no to that Wi-Fi glitch right there. 15, Dr. J. 14, Jerry West. 13, KD. 12, Bill. 11, Will. That's as it always was. But like I said, technical difficulties. My apologies.
Is Giannis a better player than Jokic?
Oof. We're talking two sides of the ball. He's not a more skilled player. If we're talking, the skill versus will aspect, I think he's dominant in what he does. I think they're closer than what this list says. I think Jokic just needs, like what Ashley was saying, a couple more years to climb this. Because I think he could easily be, in my eyes, he's better than he could be top 20 right now. He could be right on this list with Giannis at 18, 17. Like he could easily jump right past Dirk, right past AI, right past D Wade. But I mean, those players are there because, like I said, I mean, AI, first love, D Wade, Marquette boy, and one of the best shooting guards that's ever played. IT was one of the first guards I really watched too. There's a closer personal connection to all these players that I have than with Jokic. So that's where Jokic goes top 25 on my list as opposed to easily being at that 18, 17 spot. Big O, Bucks legend, David Robinson sitting next to my birthday twin, Tim Duncan. KGI even had his shoes somehow, some way for my AAU team. No one probably had them. I did. So like I said, there's just a lot of personal. They call me Dr. J when my hair is out in an afro. Jerry West, like I said, heavy on my heart. KD, the Green Goblin mask, calling me for an ISO possession, just like me. It all makes a lot of sense if you break it down that way.
That's one way to look at it.
So, there's a lot of personal. It can't just be, Biggie and Pac, top of the ranking. Did we really grow up with them? Are they really our favorite rappers, or are they our parents' favorite rappers? Did they put a, like it's one of those. Bill and Wilt are OGs. They got to be at least scraping 10. Shouts out Z. This is for him. That's why they got to that position. If it weren't for him, they'd be top 20.
All right. As we get into the 10. Now, Gail, you might notice that this is a little different than my last top 10 list.
I was going to say, you deviated.
Only a few shuffles. Only one real shuffle, to be honest. But 10 through 1 looks like this. 10, Hakeem. 9, Larry. 8, Steph. 7, Kobe. 6, Tim. 5, Shaq. 4, Magic. 3, Kareem. 2, Bron. And 1, Mike.
I thought that's not the shuffle I was looking for.
I believe our top 4 is the exact same. 10, I have Shaquille O'Neal.
Oh my.
9, I have KD.
KD is in Kevin Durant?
Yeah.
Okay.
8, I got Tim Duncan. 7, Hakeem. 6, Kobe. 5, Larry. 4, Magic. 3, Kareem. 2, LeBron. And 1, Mike.
I don't even want to hear Miguel's top 10.
It's the same. There's no deviation. Come on now. 10, MLK. Sorry, I had a dream. Hakeem. 9. What?
I'm sorry. I didn't mean. No, I'm not laughing at where you had him placed. It was the MLK because at first I'm like MLK, and then I saw where you were going. But I'm sorry. I didn't mean to disrupt you.
There's a vision. 9, Cafe India, Stephen Curry. 8, Bean. One name only. And his number's there too. Come on now. 7, that white man. It's not Stephen Curry, Larry Bird. 6, Mr. Glass, Mr. Fundamental, birthday twin, Tim Duncan. 5, Shaq Bros. Get back on defense. That's a deep cut. That's for my that's for the Shaq Bros. That's for you'll see that we play him in our midnight league. There's a coach. He just get back on. I'll show you a clip. Anyways, that's for my players. That's for Bari that's watching. That's for Jokic that's watching. They're in the gym right now. Just put the rims down. Number 4, all right, the janitor looked at me a little bit crazy there. OG MJ, Magic Johnson. Number 3, what did that one rapper say? Been getting hooks like Kareem. Shouts out. Black King, Social Justice Warrior, the OG one. Number 2, that gambler. OG, if we're talking YouTube conspiracies, I won't go any further. I won't say any more. Blasphemy. MJ, one of the GOATs. Second GOAT. What did he do? Funniest moment in NBA history, LeBron James, number 1.
Good Jesus. Okay. All right.
That gambler, Indian shop.
Yeah, we're not gonna.
Cafe India, one of the great. Shouts out if you ever come to Milwaukee. Great curry, great chicken curry. Just like top 10 on our list.
Okay.
Wardell.
I will not so much argue lists because one, Miguel, I know these are vibes for you.
We don't know. This is no deviation. Hold on. This is an official list. Who made this? That looks like the Qualified podcast to me.
All right.
You're the one that switched up. You're the one. And look, always written down the top 50. Don't disregard the Taqueria Chingon. I was saving a restaurant suggestion. But it's all there. The list is official. No vibes. We went tried and true. I learned from you.
Yeah, interesting list indeed. Clearly we know Miguel went off of not just vibes, but personal bias.
Y'all too. I went off of y'all too.
No,
you can't
blame anyone for. If you want to blame me for my list, you got to blame y'all.
You're gaslighting us, and I'm not
gaslighting.
Who did I get it from? Who did I learn the name?
You took the names that we said, and you just kind of spun it to make it this crazy list with no logic, just vibes and who
it was supposed to be the Dante DiVincenzo, Rick Brunson episode. It was supposed to be the WNBA, Nafisa Collier almost getting robbed in game 1 episode. I don't know where this came from, but I was
we don't even have.
I was jackknifed. I was led astray, run amok, whatever you would like to call it. Blindsided, blindfolded.
Miguel, you make the docket. You make the docket for next episode.
God
bless.
And
we will talk about everything you want to talk.
Retirement. We're talking about the WNBA finals because obviously y'all don't care about W. We're talking the finals is going on, and we're not talking about W basketball.
This is the 50th episode. We have to do something special. We will get
you're
back
saying the
to
WNBA finals ain't special? Oh my God! What am I hearing?
Yeah,
you're
Lord Almighty, talking about what? We're talking about the past. Talking about the past 50 best players. We're not going to talk about the W.
No, I'm not calling for it. This is manipulative. This is gaslighting, and you're acting like a narcissist.
Not at all. Favorite artist, Playboy Cardi. Narcissist is coming out at some point. God bless. But at the same time, that's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about the W. We wanted to not talk about that. It's not special enough. That's crazy to me.
Which is so crazy, Miguel. Miguel, last time we talked about the W, you fell asleep.
Where? Where's the tape? Where's the tape, Quality? Sounds like professional gaslighting to me. Show me the tape.
We have two people that can confirm you fell asleep.
If you could post the tape on here, put it to the podcast of me falling asleep, I'll gladly admit to doing so. But that was not me. You got the wrong person. That was old boy from Philly. That was old boy from Philly that did that. You must have recorded with him without me knowing. That one must have been one of my suspension episodes. And you had my twin over there in Philly substitute. He wasn't feeling what y'all were putting down, I guess. Twin. I forgot his name. I'm just referring to him as Twin.
Anyway, as y'all can see, Miguel relishes in his role as a gaslighter.
How could I fall asleep? You see all this energy I have? Where?
Nonetheless, it has been the 50th episode of the Wright Quality Podcast. We cannot wait to give you all 50 more episodes. Miguel walking throughout this episode is hilarious to me. But I don't even.
That's the face.
The blue face.
That's the blue face.
Let me get the full lighting.
Dun, 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 dun.
You know what?
Six Flags moves.
Until the next episode, we will catch y'all next time. Peace.
50.